Hey, this is Dr. Pam Perry, and I am so excited because we have Vicki Wright Hamilton, soon to be Dr. Vicki Wright Hamilton. More on that later. But we're going to be talking about a new book series, the documentary, and also to the relaunch of her book, The Game Face. So there's a lot of things going on, but the main thing is she's a speaker. She was in Speak Sell Shine last year, and she actually did something new this year. She's doing a lot of things new this year. So there's a lot to talk about. Vicki will tell you exactly how the Diary of Successful Single Black Mothers came about. You don't have to be a mother in order to listen to this, or a Black mother. Uh, you may want to listen for the tips on how to be successful. So we'll bring her back right after this. There she is. There she is. Dr. Vicki Wright Hamilton. Oh my God. First of all, I want to say congratulations because at the last Speak Sell Shine, it was in DC at Howard. I said, Dr. Vicki, right? And you were like, I said, oh no, not yet. And I said, well, maybe I'm putting that into the universe, right? It's gonna manifest. And so it is. It is happening. It is
Yeah,
Dr. Vicki Wright
yes.
Hamilton. Honorary degree happening in December, this after the
December
ceremony.
14th.
Oh my God. I love it. And it's in Atlanta.
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah, it's
How
going to
about
be
that?
at the Chateau Elan Winery.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. So that is one of the things because of your body of work that you do. And so let me just give people a little bit of intro of you. You're an executive coach is one of the first and foremost, but basically you're a keynote speaker, dynamic. And if you have not seen her speaker reel, make sure you go see that. And really she is empowering others, entrepreneurs, those in corporate leadership. Leadership is one of the main things. Her book, Game Face Corporate Success Strategies for a Trailblazing Tech Warrior. And then also to just guiding her clients towards success. So, success, leadership are some of the pillars that she stands on. Obviously, her faith is one of the things. She's very inspirational. She coaches, she speaks. So I want to make sure that people know how to get in touch with you right away because because they're like, well, how do I get in touch with her? So Vicki Wright Hamilton, that's where you want to go there. VickiWrightHamilton.com. Yeah, I got that spelled right. Vicki Wright Hamilton, no E on the E,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
And make sure that they do that because when they go there, they can get something. What is it that they're going to get when they go there? I think it's a free gift of some sort.
Yes, I have a download for them that's an assessment for them to take for helping around leadership that they can do as well. And so lots of information, lots of articles, lots of blogs, lots of YouTubes that they can listen to on leadership and topics of shorts and things that I've done as well, where I do samples on my website, but then you also can see everything on my YouTube channel.
Good, good. So we want to talk about this YouTube channel for sure. But the main thing is that I think assessments are important for people to locate themselves in terms of where they are, because then that shows them where the areas of improvement where they are. So make sure you go to VickiWrightHamilton.com, do that assessment. It's free. Take that assessment, and then you'll kind of locate yourself and see where it is that you need areas of improvement, and then
Mhm.
you take it from there. So tell us about the project, okay, and how it all came about. Because this is, well, first of all, before we get to the project, that's going to take place in 2025.
Yes.
Uh, but there's something that's coming up even before you get the official doctorate that's coming up in between that's with Master P. So tell us about that.
Yes. So I have been blessed and fortunate to be a co-author and Master's P wealth management that he has, and my chapter is on purpose. And he's doing 3 volumes, one on mental health, one as far as it goes to managing wealth and things like that. So he has 3 different books, and I happen to be in the volume 2. And so my chapter is all about understanding your purpose, understanding the elements that impact purpose that are all built around the choices that we make.
Mm.
So it was a delight to do that. The book will be out on November 1st on Amazon.
Okay, okay. So we're the first to
And
know, kind of
so
get the scoop on that. So we'll make sure we'll share this around. So you, if you're listening after November 1st, it's going to be on Amazon. So just
yeah, it's gonna be on
do your
Amazon.
one click and
And
get it. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and it's so interesting, Pam. Last night we had our event for the book, and Master P is such a believer. He has a very strong faith,
Mm-hmm.
and he wants to change the trajectory of what wealth really means. And
Yes.
how do we get it? What do we do? And telling his story about how he started with music, but why? And selling things out of his trunk
Whew.
and getting into food and his whole strategy of what he wanted to do. And he thought he was going to play basketball, got hurt in college, couldn't. He turned his life into something that his legacy will never be forgotten.
His
He has
main thing too
impacted
was his
lots of
mission.
people.
Yeah, and his main thing was his mission with family.
Yes,
And one of the things that was motivating him was that he said, I can't be broke, right? It's like
exactly.
I got too many people, too many people
Hmm.
depending on me. And so that was his motivation. And so the grit of getting the music, the marketing that he did, I think I remember hearing him saying that he wasn't like the best, but
Mm-mm.
he could outwork everybody. So he was like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be on stages, I'm gonna be doing these things. And he just had big dreams. He had
he
vision,
did.
and vision was pulling him in. I really, really like the fact that you're partnering with him in this particular book. And I always find, when you're in a book, it's almost like you're married in a way. I mean, you're in
Yeah.
there with them, and they are part of your destiny now at this
Yes.
point. So tell us about the women that you've selected, or have you selected other women for the
Well,
Diary of
all the
Success?
women have been selected.
Okay, so they're
Actually,
part
the
of.
taping is next weekend.
Oh my God, that's
And
already
oh God, yes, because you got to get everything done and ready because we're going to launch it on March 27th of next year for women during Women's History Month.
perfect. Perfect. I love
And my inspiration for doing this is, well, first of all, I've been a single mom. And I know the struggles of trying to manage it all, be superwoman and all of that. I also work with a group of single mothers through the Women in Technology
Oh,
organization that I'm on the
okay.
board for. And I
Okay.
do a lot of their workshops and work with them. And so I really understand how things have evolved, what's changed, what's going on today. They are all at Emory getting their cybersecurity certificate
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
technology.
That's good.
So
That's a big field.
when I started thinking about, with if there's something I can do to help these women to facilitate, I want to do that. But it's not just about women in technology, it's all over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
how do we help each other? How do we build a community? How do we put something out that says, because these women have stories like you would never believe. I mean, obstacles they have come through, just one thing after another. It's really, when I listen to them, it's one of those things I sit back and say, I ain't never got to complain about nothing. Everything's perfect. I've never had a problem in the world. It's that uplifting.
Wow,
So
I
I
love that.
decided that I wanted to share stories. And Pam, that's not new for me. As when I did my television shows and they're on YouTube, it was that I wanted to share stories.
Mhm,
I wanted
mhm,
to, I'm all about hope.
and
I'm all
inspiring people.
about
Mhm,
helping others and showing that if we can do it, you can do it too. And if I
empowering,
don't get any other
empowering.
message around other than anything else my entire life, my legacy is I'm no different than you are. And you have what's within you to make it. You
That's
can
it.
do it. And I
So
just want to serve.
the Diary of Successful Single Black Mothers. and you picked a cohort of how many women are in this
So
particular?
there's 13 women.
Okay, all right. Mm.
And like I said, we're taping here and
How
doing
did
it'll
you
be a
select the
night.
women? How did you select
Well, it was
them?
an application process.
Okay,
And they also, in terms and they were also contributors to to the film, but it was a selection process, went through an interview, wanted to make sure that we had different kinds of stories that we
yeah.
could touch many people in the audience. So you
Hmm.
won't hear the same things over and over again. You're going to hear very, very different stories. You're going to
Oh,
hear
good.
from infants all the way ones that are having that just had babies, and what they're going through, and
Right.
why they ended up single, not planning to, but why they
Mhm.
ended up single and things that have happened, all the way to mothers who have grown children
Oh,
and
that
the
is good.
struggles that they went through. So I really want to touch everybody in life's journey
I love it. I love it.
so that
That
people
is,
can say, "You're talking to me."
yeah. Okay, so it is a book project. The book will come
Mhm,
out during Women's History Month next year.
mhm.
And it'll be a documentary as well. And where
Yeah.
will people see it? I know they'll see it on your YouTube channel.
So
So that,
I'll have it on YouTube. I'm currently trying to plant the seeds as I want to shop it for some networks, but we'll just leave it at that.
yes, yes.
On some streaming platforms. And in terms of moving forward. And then, as you said, it's going to be an anthology book so that everybody can write a story because there's one thing about it. When they finish that, they're all authors.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
these people, never saw themselves as an author. They never saw themselves with that value. And I want to show them you have that.
And then they connect with each other as well. So how is the community? Uh, how did you, so you had to interview everybody? Was you had to select them? How is the community working together now, or how will they work together after the project, or that kind of thing?
So one of the things that I'm doing is even through the project, you will see themes of community where the kids are together, the mothers are together, starting to build it because I want to begin to build that bond.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
then we will continue to have our community sessions, if you will, right?
Okay.
Where we'll come together, we'll have conversations, we'll continue to help each other, provide solutions and options and things that they can consider when they're having challenges. That's safe space. That
Yes.
space that you can go and scream and say, I can't do this. How do I do
Hmm.
it? Right.
And
And for
that's
others to sit
important.
around and say, what help do you need? How can
That's
we
what.
help you? How can we
Mm.
support you? You can do it. We'll get through this together as a community. Because I truly believe one of the things that we've lost over time is when I grew up, it was about the village,
It was
right?
a neighborhood. People were in. People were
Neighborhood,
in the
it was the
neighborhood.
village, it was and you could discipline somebody's child down the street. So, Miss Davis don't play. She'll spank you just like you her own child, right?
That's true. That's
And
true.
so we lost a lot of that. And I believe when we lost it, we lost connection.
Mm,
And we're not always thinking about how I can connect with someone and to help them and
mhm,
then as others can help me and that you
mhm.
weren't alone. You had each other to kind of to help and go through. Now you talk to these single mothers and especially some of them with their stories and you're like, I feel like I'm doing it by myself. I'm all alone. I have no help. I have no this. I have no that. Not even to talk about issues with, to discuss challenges with, or it's only as good as what's in their head, right? And we
Yeah.
all know two heads are better than one because you come up with solutions you may not have thought about, etc. And so it's something that I truly believe makes a difference because even with the program that I do through WIT, that cohort that's together, they have a bond like no other, right?
Mm,
That are going to school together, studying together, helping each other. They're taking care of each other's kids. They're
that's
passing down clothes. They're all kinds of things,
yeah,
right? To
yeah.
support one another. And
So tell
so
us a
one
little
of
bit.
them is a financial person. They teach classes. It's just incredible.
So tell us about your story too, because this is really near and you can hear your passion about this. So in Game Face, you kind of tell a little bit about your story, the backstory of being in tech, one of the few African American women in there, and then being a single mom and some of the things and the challenges that you had that you talk about. Show your book too, so people can see the new book. There we go, game face. So kind of tell us a little bit about the title and then some of the challenges of being a successful Black single mom.
Sure. So Game Faith came about because, when I think about my being the only Black woman technology and not seeing others around and not really understanding how to play the game
Mhm, mhm,
and being in corporate where the more you understand the game, the better you can play it. And having to learn to read the tea leaves and having to learn to understand the unspoken and then the direct things that happen to you. So there's indirect and direct. So I started thinking about that. I was like, well, how do we overcome those challenges?
mhm.
At the same time, we're not just about work,
Right.
we're an entire person.
Mhm,
So in game based and giving my strategies, I not only give strategies about being at work and being a Black woman in tech, I also tell my story personally
mhm,
about family, the
mhm,
challenges we run against. And it's not perfect. And I wanted to let people know that you see the glory of me at the top and you think, oh, she has it all. But you don't know the story of the journey to get there. So, was I divorced? Yes. Was I raped? Yes. Was I all of these things that people never could have imagined?
mhm.
Right.
'Cause
So,
you
I
had that
wrote,
because you had the game face, like, it was like people didn't know, but you did that in order to survive and then
exactly,
eventually thrive in tech. I mean,
exactly.
you rose through the ranks and this and this. You can't go to work, broke, busted, and disgusted. You got you gotta have that game face. So I wanted people to know that it wasn't like you were putting on being fake. It was a playing the game and knowing how that, because so many people want to know, how do you get promoted? And no one really tells them. They just think that they would just put their head down and just work, work, work. It's so many different things, and it's different for blacks, and it's different for women, and it's definitely
Right.
different for black women,
That's
and
right.
definitely black women in technology. Because what is it? What was the percentage you said of women in
It
technology?
well now it's less than 22% of women in technology,
But
Black
when
women
you
in
started,
technology.
it was how much? The percentage was.
I would when I was coming along, it was like 2 to 3%. I mean, it wasn't,
That's crazy. That
and you
is
couldn't
crazy.
see anybody that looked like you.
Yeah.
So as people came behind me, they were like, "Oh my God, I see somebody who looks like me." And even as a leader, my door was always open. I didn't care whether you were a cleaning crew, a male person. It didn't matter to me who you were. If you
Mm,
needed, I was here to serve.
mhm, mm.
And I think that was my reputation always became. She's the only executive that we know that would never close the door in our face because of her level. I don't believe in that.
Yes.
I don't believe in that.
That's really a true leader. And so you like talking about leadership. You're an executive coach, and you also help organizations as well. Who is the ideal person that, I guess you would say, stage or organizations that you like to work with or you have spoken for recently in that?
So on the corporate side, I work with a lot of top 500 organizations that
Hmm.
are dealing with disruptive technologies and are trying to get adoption and change
Okay. Yeah.
because that's all
Change
about
is
people.
change is
It's all
hard.
about people. Exactly.
Yes. There was a
And
book years
so
ago, Change. It talked about Snuffy. Who moved my cheese?
you
That
move
was
my cheese.
Who
That's
moved
exactly
my
right.
cheese. And I remember reading that book. I says, "Oh, people hate change. They hate
Yep.
change. They will fight
Exactly.
you. They will put you out of business. People hate
Exactly.
change." That
Exactly.
that kind of thing. Look at Kodak. Kodak used to be like the number one photography company, and they didn't want to change, and they out of business. So okay, so
Exactly.
so those are the top 500 companies, Fortune
Yeah.
500
And so
companies.
I work a lot with them under change, which allows me to do leadership. From a
Hmm.
leadership client, it's really interesting. I didn't set to do this, I have led, men, women, black, white, all kinds. But for the past 18 months, it's been predominantly black women, but they're really looking for transition.
Mm.
And their transition is really about how can I get out of corporate and start my own?
Ah.
And because I'm a business coach with
Mhm,
CEOs,
mhm.
I help them to think through the process of what it takes. So I don't just jump ship and think I can go do it, but I'm prepared in that transition to
Yes,
actually get out and start my own
that
business.
is so good. That's a very good niche. When we were at Speak Sell Shine, the last one in October, Michelle Lance, and you and Michelle Lance need to connect because
Okay.
she was in technology as well, and she left the corporate track. And it's funny because it is a lot to learn, even though you may be an executive at the top of the game, it is so different when you run your own business. You're the
Absolutely.
salesperson, you're the IT person, you're the HR person, you're the accountant, you're the CFO, CIO, CO. It's like
Exactly.
it's like, oh, okay, I've got all these different hats. What is the priority? How do I do it all?
Hmm.
And so I don't think there is enough coaching on that when you are an executive in the C suite and you want to transition to being an entrepreneur, but you don't want to be a broke entrepreneur. It's like, okay, I'm used to this level of income.
That's right.
So how do I navigate that? So that is really, really key. So those are the your leadership, executive leadership clients that you
Yes.
now the organizations that you probably consult with, they are not going to allow you to come in and consult with your the C-suite and tell them how to leave because
And
it's like,
the deal is that when I go to corporate, I'm going to them about how to help to get their leaders to lead others in change and accept
yes,
change.
yes,
Right.
that's
So that's
mhm,
really more about understanding. And here's a good example. We all know about AI. And there's a
yes,
lot of talk, oh, AI is going to replace a position. A lot of
mhm,
what I do, because I do a lot of work in the AI space, is that it's not that AI is going to replace a position. AI is going to complement and augment your position. And it doesn't take away the human element of emotions, right?
mhm,
It's
mhm,
still taking whatever you train it to do.
right,
AI is only as good as what you train. That's how
mhm,
it gives its knowledge and it learns how to speak, to talk. It's the research of the exact data it can get. So it's
yes,
only as good as what you put in it. So
mhm,
one of the things that happens, so the jobs that it does take away are those routine jobs that are things that you can go and get over and over again, and you can put the same thing in and out. But what it does is it allows that person to level up, to be able to expand what they're capable of doing. But we
mhm,
don't let it be led that way. And we don't upskill that way. So when I'm talking to leaders, I'm like, okay, if you have these group of people that technology is going to help you to move forward, do you think they don't have anything else to offer? What are you upskilling them on to
mm,
let them use 80% of their talents? And you're
yes,
only having to train on 20%. Just
mhm,
because you're so used to this doing here doesn't mean they can't level up to go there. So
absolutely,
those are the kinds of leadership conversations you get into. And then when you run into leaders that are are just totally against change, you
mhm,
have to work with them to help them to understand that change doesn't have to be bad.
right.
Right.
Ooh, that seems like a lot of companies need to hire you. I'm telling you, especially in this era right now with AI, because it is one of those things of dealing with people who are afraid that their
Mhm.
job might be replaced, and then people who are afraid of using new technology. So
Mhm.
that is a whole level of programs, I guess you would say, that you're
Mhm.
putting together and
Right.
consulting with people on. And then in terms of stages and things like that, those are the other things that you're speaking on. What are some of the groups like the do you speak at obviously corporations, but you speak at either nonprofits or
I speak at nonprofits. I speak at organizations. There's lots of organizations that are either doing a particular conference or session or
like
whatever
the
in the
women in
African
tech and things
continent.
like that.
Yeah, women in
Mm.
tech and things, and outside of technology. I've been asked to come in and do some speaking off of doing some things around leadership and change management, and those things that I do as well.
Mhm.
I've been asked to come. I do a session with a lot of executives, and I offer this a lot to even to my small businesses around the importance of your financial statement to your culture.
Oh
And
yeah.
we talk about what that dynamic really looks like. And we talk about real numbers and we start to pull in what they have. I do workshops with CEOs that even are in small businesses. You talked about going from the C suite to being an executive and doing all those roles. Well, what I help them to understand is you don't have to work all in your business. I'm going to teach you how to work. I'm going to teach you how to work on your business and leverage what you need to get in your business done. But it's a
That,
mindset. You
that
do
is a
things
mindset.
right.
And you talk a lot about finances as well, because you were
Yes,
in the market daily as well. So
yes,
finances is a big
yes.
area that you speak about as well. Obviously, if you're in
Mhm.
business, you got to have the finances
Right. And that's one of
together.
the big components for our CEOs of the businesses, because really understanding how to leverage your finances and what you can get for writing off expenses and what you can't, and those kinds of things, and understanding, how your pricing strategy truly fits into
Mhm.
your marketing strategy,
Yes.
right? And so that you ensure that you're getting to the right audience of what you're trying to do, and looking at that entire P&L and really understanding what that P&L is all
I
about.
love that. That's a holistic part. That's why you're in Masterpiece book too, because that whole financial piece right there. I mean, it's funny because Master P, people kind of know him, oh, he was like the rapper and that kind of thing, but they don't realize all the levels that he has. And that's one of the ones I like that you're connecting with him. And then also too, yours, the diary of a successful black single mother, the YouTube channel. People can go to YouTube and look up Vicki Wright Hamilton. But is it you have a exact name of the channel, or is it going to have a separate channel?
Oh no, I have each one of them because I have a show
Play.
called Strategic Minds Making Money Moves, which is the Black businesses that come in and talk about what they do, how they do it, who they serve, and we solve a strategic problem on air. I have my speaking engagements. You'll see my
Yeah,
speaking engagements,
good,
and you're also going to see this documentary. I have my sizzle reels. I have,
good.
so I have shorts out there. So there's a lot on my channel to help with people that want to learn.
Good, good. And that's all at Vicki Wright Hamilton in YouTube. So that is perfect. That is one of the branding things that we talked about earlier on. We talk about in Speak So Shine, we talk about in Ready, Set, Go Speak, but the key word is that it is all about speaking communication, which is obviously one of the main things. I want people to go to Amazon and get the book as well. Hold it up again, Vicki. It's yes. So this one here, Game Face, is a book that will really help people who are need that inspiration and they feel like, oh my goodness, I feel so like I'm so far behind. I don't know how I'm going to do it. My job wants me to move. I don't know how I'm going to, Vicky's gone through all that. She's gone through all that. It's just like she's gone through all of it. So it's like if she could do it and come out on the other side and then pull in other people with her. There's a period in time too when she talks about the birth of her son and how that whole situation. I won't be a spoiler alert, right? So I won't do a spoiler alert because it's like, okay, no, how much should I say? Just get the book. Just get the book. I won't do a spoiler alert about what happened during that time. But that's one of the things. And then also to the month of November, there's some other things that she's doing as well. You're in a speakers magazine this
Yes,
month of
yes,
that month. This where is it? Where's my magazine at? Uh, I can't find it. But anyway, you're in the month in this issue, which is
yeah,
this one here, which October is really National Women's Small Business Month.
That's right.
And people always think like, oh, Women's History Month, but this is actually the magazine for the month of business, which is
Yeah.
which you're right in center right here, right? That's like the main thing. You're right in center.
You all get the magazine.
Yes, get the magazine, Speakers Magazine, Vicky's Game Changing Leadership in Business and Tech, and really has all her information there, and then all the speaking topics that she speaks on as well. Decisions, your path to growth, cultivating an empowerment mindset in the workplace, breaking barriers, a woman's journey in tech, harnessing resilience in leadership. These are some of the topics, but these are like her signature topics. And then tuning into WIIFM, the frequency of self-preservation. So make sure you get the book, so that the book, get her book, but also get the magazine. You can download it for free, read it free online, the October issue, because it is National Women's Small Business Month. So you want to make sure you do that. And then the other thing is that when they connect with you, what's the best place to connect with you?
Well, they can connect with me on my website. Obviously,
Yeah.
I have an opportunity for you to join me there. You can connect with me on LinkedIn,
There we
Instagram,
go. That's what I was.
Facebook. You can do
That's
it on all. Okay,
LinkedIn.
and I'm the same,
LinkedIn.
Hamilton, on all of them.
Yes.
So feel
We talk
free
about
to
that.
feel
We
free
talk
to
about
reach
that.
out.
LinkedIn is our favorite that we love
Yes,
LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is the one where where I call it the grown folks Facebook. Okay. So
that's right.
we over there having real business conversation and chat and that kind of thing. So Vicki, thank you so much. You are just doing a darn thing. Dr. Vicki, actually. Now I gotta keep saying that, the Dr. Vicki. It's just like, okay, Dr. Vicki. I said that. I sure did. I said at the press club. I was like, oh, Dr.
You
Vicki,
did.
would
You
you
were
say
like, "Come on, Dr. Vicky." I said, "I'm not a doctor." You said, "Uh-oh, I must be putting it. I must be manifesting
yes?
and putting
Because
it out
I
there in
just
the air." And I
saw
was
it.
like,
Yes. When people have a body of work of all the things that they do, it is a where organizations see that and recognize that. So I just really appreciate it. I saw it and I just was like, okay, we we got to do this. So we got to get a press release out about that. That's for sure. That's for sure. And
but
we got to do some different. We got to do a different magazine cover because it doesn't have the doctor in front of it. Okay. So
well,
we got and that.
we will have to do that. But Pam, I have to, and I said this last night. I have to credit a lot of where I am to the wisdom and the knowledge that you bestowed upon me and the risk that you took in believing in me when I had no clue.
I
And
saw
one of the most important things to do when you are an entrepreneur and a business owner, know what your talents are and know what they aren't.
it.
And I didn't know, but I wanted to learn. But
Mhm.
you took the time not only to teach me, to show me, to be there. So I want to give a lot of credit to where I am today because of what you've done for me. And I
Oh,
just want to say thank you.
thank you. Thank you.
So if
Because
you all are out there looking for, she's more than just PR. Let me just say that. Okay. Y'all think that public relations, all they do is go and find a magazine and make that. That's not what this is about. She gives you the entire picture. When
Mhm.
you work with her, you walk out with a portfolio of not of assets that you couldn't even begin to
There you
imagine.
go. There you go.
Assets,
One
your
sheet.
one pagers, your, understanding your messages, your sizzle reels, your the investment is less than fractions of a penny on a dollar. I tell her all the
Mhm.
time. Your value is exponential.
Thank you. And then also too, I always see my clients where they are, but also where they're going, and then who they need to connect with. So, like I said, you need to connect with Michelle Lance, but also too, you and Kelly Wright on that interview that you did. It hasn't launched yet, right? I've all the spoiler alerts on that. It hasn't launched yet, but he said it was fabulous. He said it was so good. I'm like, okay. So I'm not talking about the one that we did at the Speak Sell Shine at the Howard. I'm talking about the one that you did on the network.
Yes, yes.
The one that he has 400,000 people on YouTube. That's the one that's going to be hot. It's like, oh my God. So it's like 2024 is wrapping up and your 2025 is just launching into a whole nother stratosphere. So I'm just excited about where things are going. you're down there in Atlanta. I mean, Tyler Perry's down there. This whole thing, it's just like, where else would you do the where else would you do the thing? Okay. You're gonna do it in Atlanta. It's either you're gonna be in Hollywood or you'll be in Atlanta. So I'm just gonna watch and see what happens. I'm not saying anything after that because now I'm just like, okay, but I could just see that being something that yeah, Tyler Perry, no relation to my Perry because he actually changed his name, but Tyler Perry will say, "Yeah, I like that Vicky. I like that Dr. Vicky." So let's have a conversation. So I'm telling you,
All righty.
you're gonna have to pick up some what do you call it? An agent, or I guess that's what you
Yeah,
call it,
agent.
agent. You got to get an agent. I'm telling you, get an agent. Don't go in there
Yeah,
without no agent. That's all I'm saying.
right. That's right. That's exactly
All
right.
right. Well, thank you so much for joining Speakers Magazine. Read in the show notes all the things about Vicky, how to get in touch with her, and how to stay in touch with her, because she's got big things coming up in 2025. So I'll talk to you later, Vicky. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye bye.